Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it is a bird. It's the Quirky Bird Show with your host, Robin Savage.
All righty, welcome to the Quirky Bird Show here on the artsradio.com. We have got a fun show today. We always talk about all things quirky in the comedic world. Some guy named Frank, I like have this catchphrase and I can never get it out of my mouth. We talk about all things quirky in the comedic world of art, all the arts of the comedic world. I can't remember. Anyway, today we are talking about memes, those funny little Facebook cartoon things that everyone seems to spam. And I have my good friend here, some guy named Frank.
Some guy named Frank in the house for some reason.
Some guy named Frank is on some
not determined yet.
Some weird little internet show.
I figure about 15 minutes in, the fog of regret will come over you, and you'll be like, oh, whatever. You'll be like come on, can you go any faster? Who's the president?
I thought you meant you were going to have the fog of regret in 15 minutes.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm cool.
Just as long as someone has the fog of regret, I guess that's what it's all about.
As long as the bladder issues don't come into play, we're cool. I'll hang out.
Now, I don't know if you've listened to my show before, but I always pose like a quirky question of the day, kind of chum the waters, kind of get people to see what they feel about my particular topic that we have. And since my topic was memes, I think my particular question of the day was, why are memes so popular, and do you have a favorite meme? And since you are my co-host, I will throw that question out to you.
Why are memes so popular?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one word: participation.
Okay.
You know, in my generation, this was back in the 70s. If I wanted to laugh via any kind of media, I had to buy a book or look into comics of the newspaper every day, which I did follow every day. Nowadays, a kid gets online, bam, there is countless humor out there, not in printed form, but in front of you. And the thing is, it's all created by different people. It's not Charles Schultz just exclusively writing a book. It's not Gary Larson exclusively writing a book. The Far Side. Are you a Far Side fan?
I love The Far Side, yes.
It has damaged me beyond repair.
My favorite one was the fat kid pushing the door that said pull.
Pull.
Yeah. He's pushing with all his might.
Yeah, for me, the gateway Far Side was guy crawling across the desert, almost to the water, about to die. He's got his hand about a foot away from the water. 2 vultures flying overhead. One vulture says to the other, "Dang, I think he's going to make it." The other vulture says, "Oh, he's not. Oh, no, he's not." And he has a grand piano in his talons, about to drop it on him. Made absolutely no sense. I was hooked.
It didn't. That actually is kind of interesting that you say that, and I never really thought about it until it just came out of your mouth. We just had an Oprah aha moment, but kind of with the internet in general, and sort of being able to merge really any kinds of like art and thought. I really never thought about that. Like, it's not just Charles Schultz or Gary Lawson or the guy who did Calvin and Hobbes. I mean, it's almost anyone with an opinion can put the two things together, and there it goes.
Anyone with an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very awesome thing.
Now, do you have a particular like favorite meme or set of memes?
No, not really. There's just so many of them. It's just, I posted Cereal Guy. Cereal Guy's a stick figure with a bowl of cereal in front of him. He's sitting at the breakfast table. And you know how sometimes you're moved to disbelief, and if you have something within you're eating, yeah. Oh, sorry, Mike. You spit it out? Well, Cereal Guy, let me see if I can pull Cereal Guy up. I posted him today.
While you do that, I always like to give a shout out on the quirky question of the day to the people who answer the quirky question. And I post it like 17 different places. So when I actually come to read it, I never know where it's at. My good friend Lee Willis. Do you know Lee Willis? He's in the Tampa area. He says he thinks that the reason they are so popular is because so many of our species are attention, approval seeking, and they have nothing better to do. So
good point. And, and it is good. We know it feels good to be validated. That's why I use my debit card. So when they swipe it, it says approved. I love that. That's the only reason I use it. I'd rather pay with cash.
My mother never even approved me, and you do debit card.
Thank you, Walmart. Thank you.
David, and I always just mispronounce his name, so we'll just call him David A. All right, and he's actually going to be a co-host in a couple weeks. If you could attribute this comment to Pezman, I would appreciate it, as it's my new stage name. Oh, see, this is what happens when I just read on the fly. Okay, this one's going out to Pezman. He's an awesome comedian from the Sarasota area. He thinks memes are so popular because they're a digital version of jokes. And that is true.
True.
If they're clever, they get passed around just as people tell and retell jokes. In a sense, they're even better than jokes because you don't have to spend time listening if you don't want to, nor do you have to pass them along if you don't want to. Standard jokes, when passed along through Facebook or email, lack something. It's the personality allowed. Memes, on the other hand, are essentially printed material. They have a lot to know. They're just sort of an electronic extension of that. And that is true. And one thing I've noticed about them is, you and I are probably about the same age. Do you remember when we had fax machines? And I'm so old. I remember when the fax machines were in the curly
the roller
paper.
On them.
Yeah, they had the curly paper.
A thin laminated looking paper. It was streamers. It was a big fat wide streamer. I remember those.
I always remember, the office I worked at, there was two things that always happened when technology comes. People use technology to send jokes and to send advertisements. So they would be getting, and then as it went to the email, jokes sort of spread to the email. So I don't know what it is about technology and jokes, but it seems like the more our technology gets, then they're oh, we have to tell jokes on the technology.
Sure. It shows our innate need for humor in all forms, whether one-on-one or on the internet. I mean, the internet's a great medium for all things. Like this one last week cracked me up.
And
the Statue of Liberty with the cloud over it, and a lot of people thought it was a real picture taken.
And then yes, because that did scare some people. And then someone put in
somebody put in all these creatures that were
the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and
just made
Godzilla.
Me laugh right out loud. UFOs. And seeing somebody else may come along and caption it, bring it to the next level. So it's all hands on deck. Let's see what we can do with this thing.
It is. Now, Frank, have you ever made a meme, or do you just sort of take the ones that you like and post them to your page?
Well, I'm getting into making them more now. I'll pull up one that I did the other night with some wife named Frank. She
That's so weird that some guy named Frank married some wife named Frank. What are the odds?
I'm going to leave here and get in some truck named Frank. It just goes on. It's all brand.
Do you have some son named Frank?
Some what?
Son named Frank.
Yeah, some son named Frank, 13 years old. He handles the beatings quite well.
Now, didn't you say it was actually your son who kind of turned you on to the memes?
Oh, yeah. He had a bunch on his iPhone. He had a bunch of, I guess first it was cats. There was a lot of cat ones, cats and captioned funny, and that just led to us looking at memes. Here's one I made over the weekend.
Okay.
It looks like they're singing. Obama and Romney had a debate. They look like they're singing, so.
And it says Ebony and Ivory clash together in perfect harmony.
You know the song.
I do. Once again, that proves we're old.
It probably went through your head musically, not. You probably sang it in your head.
I did. I even in my head did the Stevie Wonder where he sort of makes it flow.
Yeah, I probably did this too. And there's Cereal Guy.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So Cereal Guy is like a crudely drawn meme.
Yeah, there's a bunch of crudely drawn memes. A lot of them are single panel, but there's multiple panel ones. They usually involving the stick figures, and I'm a layman on these because there's so many of them. But there's one series I've seen, and there's some series out there.
There are.
One guy says to the other one, this is over about 6 panels, I'm going home to feed my baby turtles. Can I come? Yeah. And he's home feeding his baby turtles. It was funny to me.
I think maybe it was more of a visual.
The hard-shell, 4-legged critters he was feeding it to his baby. Sorry. Yeah, I guess you had to be there.
Oh, I was feeding my baby, turtles.
Yeah.
Not feeding my baby turtles.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But I love ridiculous humor.
How can a baby eat a turtle?
I don't know.
They don't even have any
Gotta
teeth.
have those teeth.
Yeah.
I guess baby dentures. I don't know.
A couple more shout outs. Karen Fitzgerald. Do you know she's another comedian here in the Tampa area? Although she's soon to be a comedian in the New Hampshire area. She says, I am hoping. Da, 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 da. She says she thinks that it's because they're quick and it's a thought you can relate to. You know, as a comic, we know it's more times than not that what people laugh at the most is something they can relate to, and the pictures bring it home, and their silliness connects with them in words. And so she actually wrote the one that she has. Now, I don't know exactly what they're called, but I think they're called like your e-cards, and they look like 1950s
Yeah,
pictures.
see a bunch of those series there with the solid color background and the black and white.
Yeah.
A lot of those are real good.
They are. And hers, it had like a picture of a beauty queen, and it says, "Here, you dropped this. It's your sense of humor. You lost it when you picked up the giant bag of how important your opinion is."
Awesome.
But that is, it's
Bam.
It's quick and it's to the point, and it's not some long drawn. Like, I guess what I was trying to say was, like, in the days of faxing, when they sent over jokes, they were like bar jokes or street jokes, and they had like words and words to them. And we've gotten so, I guess, in this electronic, like, give me everything age, everything's just down. It's just like one or two lines and boom, that's
it's also disposable because there's so much of it. Like I learned that the average lifespan of a tweet is 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, so 30 seconds, you're out of there.
So, like, if you have an awesome tweet, you don't even get 15 minutes of fame. You get 30 seconds of fame.
Hopefully, it gets retweeted.
Then that 30 seconds gets that.
Then you have a little multiplication.
I've got to throw this out there to anyone. If you guys want to call in and join the conversation at 727-597-4022. I will also put this out on Facebook as well. So yeah, we are talking about, I try to be sneaky and like type and talk, and I can't. So we're talking about memes and what they are. Now, you have been in comedy for how long, Frank?
I would say 2 years. I did 2 years in the 90s. I say I did. It sounds like a prison sentence, doesn't it? I did hard time back in the 90s.
Well, but you've been around this go round. You've been around for a while, haven't you?
Yeah, but almost 2 years. I did an open mic, stepped foot on the stage for the first time in over close to 15 years back in late 2010, and I've come on and off since that time. Work has gotten in the way, but now I'm clear of work. I sold my business a couple months ago, which doesn't mean I'm loaded, so don't hit me up for money. But it's given me more time to dedicate it. And
for anyone out there wanting to get into comedy, I say sell the thing that makes you real money, because comedy's cheddar. It's so easy to get booked, and they just pay so much.
Oh yeah, yeah. Go up to heaven. What'd you do while you were on Earth? This is a very short, abbreviated version. How much money did you make while you were on Earth? I made $20,000 my last year. Oh, so you're a comedian, huh? Thomas Brown, a cruise ship comedian, he told me he went from making, I think he made 90,000 restoring cars or painting cars to like 12,000 his first year.
Yeah, I know Thomas Brown. He's good people.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and he used to have a club in Brandon.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was a short-lived club. Which
they're all short-lived in Brandon. Must be a tax write-off concept.
Now, memes. Talking about getting back to memes. A lot of them are the short and concise writing. Do you find that when you are trying to write jokes, whether it be a meme or in your comedy, do you try to trim the fat? I mean, what do you find good in the?
Oh yeah, I try to get short to the point short as nest. Look at me, short as possible. And that's why Twitter's a great forum, because you're limited to 140 characters. You know, you got to trim the fat. You can, chuck it out there. But that's a great medium for me because, my blood type's ADD positive, so my mind's all over the place. and I love it short. I love the short and sweet jokes.
Yeah.
Like one page is like this. I can handle that.
Okay.
you know, my son and I, when we're going through these things, we'll, stuff. If it's got too much writing, we'll blow right through it. We'll look for the short ones, like yeah, that one's a little bit too long. If we got to scroll down, we'll usually,
So
we'll look for the short and sweet.
That is interesting. So it is even like the short attention span. Like even if you see like too many block of words. Like I used to be a trainer, and when we would write material, they would say, don't write material where you would have like huge paragraphs, because people are going to do that. They're going to blow right through and be like, I don't want to read those words and learn stuff. But if you chunk it out, and it's probably the same thing with jokes and humor as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, I was advised early on, cut the fat out, get right to the point. But I've always been good like that.
Mm-hmm.
My first exposure to the power of humor was back when I was about 17, and a girl asked me, do you dye your hair? Your hair is light and your eyebrows are dark, because they were at the time. My hair used to be much lighter. And I looked at her, I said, no, I dye my eyebrows with a straight face. And I said, wow, there's power in this humor thing.
Yeah, it is. Now, what you said that you went on stage in the early 90s. Did you go on stage for the first time because you always felt like you were going to be funny? Did someone dare you? Did you?
No, none of that. The church I was going to encouraged me to, because I've always had a funny disposition. I was in the band at church. I played drums, which is another great attention deficit. Focus thing. You got to sit down in one place and hit stuff. It's perfect. And they said, you want to do the greeting one morning. Here's the subject. Write something funny. And I did. I wrote like a 7-minute piece. It went over really well. And I said, this is cool. And I just started writing. I had started writing at the time, and not really advertising it a whole lot, that I was writing ideas down. And then I started doing church gigs, singles groups and stuff like that, and did that for about 2 years. And then other priorities like marriage came in the way. Marriage preservation at the time came in the way. And I said, okay, I better stop this. God seems to be closing the doors, and I think he's telling me marriage is more important than making a few people laugh.
That's actually ironic that you say that. Next week, Karen Fitzgerald is going to come on the show, and the whole theme of the show is talking about how when you find comedy, and I could even parlay it in not just comedy, but when you sort of find your niche in life, it sort of changes everything and the people around you.
Yeah, ironically, speaking of irony, 12 years later, that my marriage tanked anyway.
You could have been Chris Rock, for God's sake.
Why? But then I wouldn't have my son.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, I forgot another shout out. Michael Freed, he says, we're talking about memes. He says, I love them. I laugh at them. I share them. I've even tried creating them, some of my own, to create buzz for my fan page. I've noticed that too. Some you were talking earlier about the cat memes. I was trying to do research on like how the memes became, and it's sort of convoluted, because the word meme actually came from more of an idea from an idea. Like,
it's more of an academic definition. I noticed. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
How did this come to be? Comic, I understand, but meme. I can understand the social spreading of an idea.
Yes. And then when I was first introduced even to the word meme, the person who was telling me about memes was saying it was more of like a common phrase, like, oh, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like, that's a meme. And so it was more of a common phrase. So I'm not sure how it went to being something that you just say to being like these little pictures, these little jokes that just get splattered everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine there had to be some structure to it. Like, you see this a lot at the bottom of them where it says win.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them will say, seems legit is another one. Another one is win, seems legit. Another one is, I see what you did there. So, and I love those ones because, they fit it into things like that. That's a good one too.
That's actually pretty funny. It says, hey, pretty, want to date me? Yes equals smile, no equals backflip.
Backflip, win.
But don't you think
unless you're at the Olympics on the gymnastics floor.
But don't you think that's even a derivative of the whole Charlie Sheen like winning? because that was like a thing for a while. Like that in itself was a meme. Like winning was almost like a verbal meme because that's like everyone would say that. Like back when The Office was good, people used to say, that's what she said. That was almost a meme too.
You see some of those too. That's what she said, and that's been kicking around for years, especially in guy circles. That's what she said.
Yeah, and then also I've noticed some of the other memes are the Willy Wonka memes.
Yeah, that's probably one of the more popular ones.
Yeah, it is, and that's another one too. You were talking about it. It's not just Charles Schultz anymore or Gary Trudeau. I mean, it's the same meme, but it's the same picture basically. But he's got that condescending look, and you could put almost anything that you want. Absolutely anything that you want in there, and if it's funny, people are gonna like it or retweet it or repost it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any reward except getting it mass distributed. Hopefully.
Well, like I was telling you earlier, I was trying to get people. I've been like hitting up because I thought that was an interesting concept when you said you wanted to talk about memes. So I was hitting up meme websites and like meme Facebook pages, and it's almost like they only exist just to have people share it on there. Like there's not like a person saying, we must produce more memes. Like there's no one who's actually wants to call up and talk about them. I think they just put just a place for you to dump your memes and that's it.
There's meme factories in third world countries.
Be respectful of those people.
Probably some here too in the inner cities. I'll bring it home.
There may be people with master's degree try to get the memes, but they can't. They're being outsourced to.
They're cheaper that way.
They are. Yeah, I've noticed that about the cat memes too. And that always kind of like they've got like the cat memes, and then they have like the cat memes talking like in little kitty cat talk. But I think if cats could talk, and I even like wrote this before, I think if cats could talk, they wouldn't be like, illiterate sort of, like, oh, I is so scared. And, they have like the big yarn ball. I think a cat would be like, oh my God, you're an idiot. Let's go out. Let's, have a drink. Like, I don't think cats would talk baby talk.
Yeah.
So I have an issue with those memes.
Yeah. Pie chart memes are popular too.
Oh, okay.
This one, and by the way, I'm on ifunny.mobi. If you put in .mobi, M-O-B-I, it's better format.
Oh,
otherwise you're scrolling down instead of side to side.
Oh.
And this one's a pie chart that says, what you do when someone says, don't look down. Look down is the majority of the pie chart, and a very little sliver is, tiny, tiny, tiny sliver is, don't look down. Yeah, so the pie chart, here's another one.
People who disagree with me.
Morons. It's all one solid color. So everyone who disagrees with this guy are morons.
Now, there was a meme going around for a while, and it was an actual picture of a pie. Like do you remember?
I've probably seen it.
Yeah. It was just
too much
actual
clutter
picture.
now. All these memes, there's too much clutter.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. But yeah, like I say, I think it does come back to maybe short attention span. But gosh, they're funny. I mean, you just don't have like the long-winded things that you maybe you once had, like when we were growing up.
Yeah. My favorite when I was in grade school was the Family Circus because it was one frame. It was one picture.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Like even Doonesbury, which I always thought was pretty funny. They sort of
those were
jumbled
wordy.
everything. Yeah, they were really wordy. And do you remember the comics that were like some comics were in the because as a kid I would always look forward to Sunday to look at the funny papers, and some weren't even funny. Like there was some that were serious comics. I never understood why they were a part of being in the funny papers.
Yeah, some dad named Frank was into Prince Valiant when he was younger. That was a lavishly drawn comic strip, an ongoing series.
It was. I forgot about that.
We're dating ourselves.
We are.
Sorry, I had to move this. I noticed I had a boom arm in my face on the screen.
Yeah, we can actually see.
I'm sure I scared off everybody anyway, but I followed Spider-Man when I was a kid because those made you want to watch it. They whet your appetite. Okay, is he going to fall off the building or?
And I always thought it was amazing, like when you would go to different cities, like, I don't know, on vacation or something, to see. I always thought it told a lot about, and in my little like child head, I always thought it taught a lot about like the city and where people were on which cartoons got the top billing.
Yeah, each paper's different.
Yeah, each paper was a little bit different. And like our paper, it was always like Charlie Brown that got the top billing, you know. And I think I would, as a kid, I would think bad of like another city, like if you go to Omaha or something and like Garfield got top billing, I'd be like, who does Omaha think it is? That's Charlie Brown's space.
Yeah, all through my 20s, you know, Far Side books every Christmas. It made me the twisted mess I am today.
Now, didn't the guy who do Far Side, didn't he retire?
Yeah, he retired quite some time ago, probably at least 15 years ago.
But he's a guy who retired like on the upside. Like he retired like a superstar. He didn't wait until he
didn't
burnt
wait
out.
till
Yeah.
he probably saw burnout coming and, you know, made his exit strategy and said, you know, enough's enough.
Well, once you do, you know, dinosaur smoking and say that's what causes their extinction, I mean that's money, my friend.
Oh, I know. That's T-shirt material right there. I had Far Side calendars, Far Side mug. I think I had. I don't think I had any T-shirts, but I had the book. Still do, and it was cool when my son was around the age of 7. You know, he started really maturing, thought process wise, and I remember his innocent laughter. We'd sit down and read these things, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Because he finally got to the point in his life where he got it, you know, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, I was going to say my kids are about that age, and I know what you mean. It's like something turns in
The
their
light
brain.
bulb goes on. And
Yeah, and then they sort of, especially when they, you know, they get your same sick, twisted humor, and you're like, oh, this is the best day ever.
And his mom saying, why? I wanted a logical child. I wanted a mathematician.
Yeah, he's got your sense of humor.
There's no hope for this kid.
Now, does your
Actually, he's smart.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think like a twisted sense of humor is actually a sign of intelligence. Of course, I say that because I have a sick, twisted humor, and I'm just trying to find a way to feel better about myself.
It's a coping mechanism.
It is. It is.
You know, I I got to show you the meme I made, and you know, and I put the question out there: is this too much for in light of what's going on out there?
Now, have you had any backlashes on your meme? I never really thought about that.
Well, I did pose a question on one and say, okay, is this too much? Am I overdoing it? Because Hurricane Sandy was last week. I do have some family up there who are recovering, and I'll show you the meme that I put.
And did you?
This is the first one I made outside of.
Oh, I remember seeing that. The official yard rake of Hurricane
And you just
Sandy.
shook your head and left the room, didn't you?
I did. I'm like, oh my God, and he's going on my show.
Said,
Well,
too soon, she said. My brother actually responded. My younger brother, I think he put too soon.
is it some guy who's Frank's younger brother? What's his
Some
name?
brother named Frank, I guess.
Some brother named Frank.
It's a franchise.
It is.
Yeah, but my aunt, who was, she lives about within 12 miles probably of Seaside, which got just hammered. You know, she said, you know, it's a mess up here. You may want to cool down.
Yeah, yeah.
But I did do open mic, and you know, I already know this joke was going to work before I did it. This was last Tuesday, the night before. I said, you know, when I pray, I think I need to be more specific in what I pray for. When I prayed to God to destroy the Jersey Shore, I was talking about the show. I couldn't keep that one under wraps.
Now,
Also, a few days later, I couldn't stop, but I didn't post this one. I said, Obama just came out of a press conference, and he has said that Hurricane Sandy is a result of a YouTube video. Ouch!
why do you think it is? And this isn't just comedy. I've even seen them in memes, keeping with the theme of Quirky Bird show today. Why do you think it is when tragedy strikes that people sort of have that sixth sense of humor? I remember when the first space shuttle. I mean, I was
Oh,
16
yeah.
years old, and that was the closest thing. Well, that was probably the first national disaster. Well, Reagan getting killed was a big deal, but I was a teenager.
Reagan didn't get killed.
I'm sorry, shot. He got shot. I was like 11, and
Poor
he got
Ronnie.
shot. I know.
He's dead in your eyes. You're dead to me.
You're dead to me. But I remember being 16, and it was really horrible, and then everyone kind of saw it blow up in front of them. And within
Oh, no.
hours, there was like, oh, what did she say? The lady, I feed the cat, you'll feed the fish.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
there
I
was
remember.
like what is it about human nature that takes something so terrible and tries to make jokes about it?
I think it's try to take the edge off the sting.
Yeah.
I do it a lot. I have a good handful of death jokes,
Mm-hmm.
When I die, I'm going to have my funeral 2 years later. I've always been a procrastinator. I'm going to be buried in a sleep number casket.
Sleep number.
We're all going.
Yeah. Yes.
So, I think it's to take the edge off it, to help deal with the issue at hand. And our jobs as comics is to know when to pull back. And sometimes I'm not good at that. I'll admit, the Chick-fil-A thing, I stepped over the boundaries a few times.
Well, that's one thing I find about social media is before we had social media, it was always like, I wonder what would happen if you could read someone's mind. And basically, to me, I think social media is reading people's mind.
Yeah.
The people who open their mind to it. I mean, some people are like, I'm not putting that on social media. And then there's like comics like, hey, this is my opinion, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. I think definitely takes the edge off of tragedy.
Mm-hmm.
And, some people don't care about the consequences of that. I test the waters. I tend to test the waters on things like that. What did I put? Please let me know if I'm being too insensitive. Just trying to lighten the subject was what I put on.
And now, did anyone when you did this meme that I mean, I even try to what it is he's got a chainsaw and it says the official yard rake of Hurricane Sandy, which I understand. I mean, it's silly, but they probably did have
Good thing
to.
I'm not being graded.
But I mean, you could. It's not rude or crude, but in all honesty, that probably is how they're
I know.
raking up everything. They've got to like piece it down and then.
Fall has taken on a whole new meaning.
So did you get only people saying like, yeah, Frank, you crossed the line, or was anyone like, no, that's hilarious?
A couple people. I didn't get much commentary. Maybe I released it at the wrong time, or maybe just nobody follows me. I think it's a combination of both. But I put the thing about I need to be specific what I pray for. I asking God to destroy the Jersey Shore. A girl I know from high school who is a fan of the Jersey Shore show loved it.
No, did she?
Yeah, she put LOL. Like, yes. I thought for sure I'd be chastised on that one.
Well, I was going to say I've seen a few jokes referencing the Jersey Shore, which which goes back to. And I guess you're right. It is a coping mechanism. I mean, although I've never actually watched the Jersey Shore, I've only just watched the people in interviews and wanted to gouge my eyes out because of it.
What's wrong with America today?
And now they're reproducing.
I know, they're breeding.
They're going on to make other little Jersey Shore people. Yeah. Someone told me one time that they have like, what is it? 3 words like gym, tan, and laundry. Like that's what they do.
That's their priorities in life.
Yeah.
Throw a bunch of irresponsible young adults into a room together who aren't ready to be in compromising relationships, and let's see what happens.
Oh, now they have lots of money.
Oh, I'm sure they've blown it just as quickly.
If you guys want to contribute to the Quirky Bird Show, because there's lots of ways to blow your money, and I will help you. I will do it all.
Taking large cash donations right up to my expiration.
Now, you talk about having like a sense of humor that you don't really, it is a little on the sick side. Have you ever came across a meme or no? I mean, from your own admission.
She heard that.
Have you ever came across a meme that you thought, you know what, that goes over the line? People shouldn't have done that.
Oh yeah, I've seen quite a few in here. When I'm with my son, I have to flip through pretty quick. Whoa! We didn't need that.
You know, your son probably reads them when you're not there. He's probably like, "Oh, Dad
Oh,
flipped
yeah.
through the one that with the thing."
Oh yeah, you can only shelter him so long. He goes to public school. He's heard it all. It's funny. His mom didn't want him to go see Stephen Wright with me and my wife this past weekend, but he's heard so much worse.
I wouldn't think that because Stephen Wright's really, really dry and slow. I wouldn't think that would. I don't know. I take my kids to Stephen Wright.
Yeah, he had a few things, but he's either seen it in this stuff, with the good you're gonna get the bad, or he's heard it in public school.
Now, what was his reaction to Stephen Wright?
Oh, he loved it.
Oh, did he?
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to meet him afterwards, which is cool, and I got one of the best compliments I ever got indirectly from him. He looked at my son and said, "You have an interesting father." It's like it doesn't get any better than that, I don't think.
Now, is there any backstory with you and Stephen Wright? I thought I read somewhere in one of the comedy pages that you kind of know of him, or a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah, I had a friend who worked at Ruth Eckerd Hall who allowed me to meet him twice over the past 17 years. Met him once in 95, and then I think it was 99 I met him. And I got to tell him one of his own jokes because, I said, one of his favorite jokes goes like this. And I don't know if you laugh at it. Half the people do, half the people just give me the blank look. It's, I went to a Halloween party dressed as the equator. People walked towards me, they got warmer. I love that joke. And I shared it. I don't like Halloween, but I love that joke, so I put it on Tampa Bay Comedy. And got some interesting reactions.
So you went to Stephen Wright and you told Stephen Wright's own joke?
Yeah, and as soon as I got the first part out, he was laughing. Like, this is cool.
Yeah, that's not at all creepy. I mean,
that's funny.
See, would you ever someday, say 10 years from now, if someone came up to you and I do have to say your joke about running over a turtle, I've heard that a couple times. I think that's a very funny joke. How would you like it if someone came up to you and, I guess that would be very flattering to tell your own joke.
Oh, I think that would be cool. That'd be almost surreal, I think. I'd probably be like, I don't remember saying that joke. I forget so much of my own stuff.
No, about the one where you drove over something and you thought it was half a watermelon. It was a turtle.
And it was a turtle. Yeah. That would be good. I actually wrote more turtle material, actually.
Well, then you when we just sat down, you had something about turtle babies.
Yeah, that was one of the memes.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the memes, yeah. We probably won't find it in the span of this time together.
Also, when I was doing some research on these memes, there's a whole meme dedicated to what's it called? The overly attached girlfriend. Have you seen any of those memes?
Oh yeah, she's in a bunch of them. I actually read an interview with him. There's also a lot of not Will Ferrells. Have you seen these?
Huh.
Where it's
so it looks like a tweet.
Yeah, it's not really Will Ferrell, but it's just got profound things like this one is. Let me. I can't read that one. I saw the word balls, and it was not in an athletic goods form.
But what the overly attached girlfriend, it's kind of along the same lines as Willy Wonka. It just has a girl with an expression on her face, and you can plug absolutely anything you want into there. And so if it kind of goes with the theme, what we were talking about before, this is the overly attached girlfriend, and that's the theme, you can plug anything, and it can be funny.
Yeah, that's a great one for teenage kids.
Yes, but it's kind of the same thing as Willy Wonka. I mean, Yeah,
the Willy Wonka one's good. There's one with the little black kid. It looks like he's in Africa. Have you seen that one? Talking to the dark-haired girl.
Yeah.
And he's looking at her like, "You got to be kidding me." That one's a good one.
And then the one with the little guy doing the Dougie, and he's just in his white diaper. I don't know.
I
He's
think I've
dancing. That was also I'm now that I'm on here. I've noticed that there's a lot of Disney just bought Star Wars, and so there's a lot of memes, lots of memes.
That's good.
It's
That's
it's
great.
got, it's
Yeah, I
got
love
like the
'em. I love 'em.
princess's castle, and then Darth Vader and the who are the white
Stormtroopers.
stormtroopers coming out of the prince's castle, and it says it's not the Death Star, but it'll do.
Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, and I'm not too much of a current event kind of comic, so I appreciate people who can take stuff and run with it like that.
Yeah.
But if an idea pops into my mind on current events, I'll do it. So
Especially hilarious current events like disasters.
yeah, nothing like something crashing or somebody dying to stimulate your creative senses.
Also, the memes I'm looking at too. Gosh, they had them. They were panels of like, this is a profession, and what your mom thinks you do, what your friends
Yeah.
thinks you do, what you actually
Another
do.
popular one too.
Yeah, that went around. I like the comic one because it was pretty spot on. It was like, your mom thinks you're like, drinking beer, your friends think you're partying all the time, and what you're actually doing, you're just crying in front of the computer. Like, I can't think of any
Yeah.
new jokes.
Are the how I think I look when a pretty girl walks by? How I actually look? Love them.
Yeah, but those they kind of, but that's what I found interesting on that is what's their lifespan and why, like that one went around, the what your parents think you're doing. That one went around for probably like 3 or 4 weeks, and then you don't see it anymore. I mean, what makes it rise and fall? Is it just because we have such short attention span? It's like, on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's it because there's just so much more coming in behind it.
Yeah.
My son and I, we flip through ones. We've seen it before, and we flip right through it. We're looking for the next one that just puts us on the floor.
So, okay, yeah. So I mean, I don't want to.
Seems legit. That's a catchy phrase on a lot of them.
Okay.
There she is.
Okay, so we're talking about what's it called?
Overly
The
attached
overly attached
girl.
girlfriend, and it says my password, it's my first name and your last name.
That's great. That's great. I think I posted.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
We could probably forget about the microphones in our face and just get all distracted with this, and people would be like, "What?"
I guess it's kind of hard to turn the computer there. I'm seeing a lot of like SpongeBob memes. My kids are very into SpongeBob, so I don't know. I guess SpongeBob's funny, just meme and not so meme. But
Yeah, like here's a tragedy based one. No. Watches you murder 15 people in the street, happily sells you a hot dog. That must be from a video game. It looks like it's animated.
oh. Yeah, and I noticed that there are a lot of those small, really crudely drawn ones. I love you more than that, and that's your iPod or the iPhone
Yeah, what is that? It's some kind of gadget, smartphone.
smartphone.
Yeah, Stephen Wright did a song called I Love My Phone More Than You, basically, was the gist of it. And it was the 9th time he performed it, he told me. So, he's getting more relevant as time goes by,
Yes.
which is good because, you're supposed to evolve when you're doing comedy.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yeah, I was gonna say Stephen Wright. He was kind of there in the in like the roaring '80s, like when comedy was,
When there was clubs down on Kennedy Boulevard.
yeah, there was clubs all the time, and you turn on the TV and you'd have like VH1 stand up. You'd have there was a zillion of them.
Crazy YouTube.
taking away all our stuff.
You're
But
robbing us.
now this is another one that I saw, and
Yeah, he's the please meme.
I was trying to find that, and he just looks like a Spanish guy. And what's like that? I guess hook.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them say, "Bitch, please." I'm just paraphrasing here.
Oh, okay.
That's what most of them say, or it just says, "Please." It's kind of like, you got to be kidding me. Is that all you've got? It's kind of like, that's nothing.
Oh,
And the context is good. That's kind of a weird context to use that one in. New people at home can't see anything.
oh. So underneath it says "bitch, please," and then he says,
Yeah,
"That's my dog."
usually, or it'll be right above them in a little cloud. We'll have to find one.
Okay. Okay, and then you have the Gary Trudeau.
That's a Far Side type.
Well, that
That's-
looks like that's
yeah, it looks
actually
like a
the Far
comic.
Side. Yeah, that looks like it's actually the Far Side. I've noticed that there are a lot of comics in the. I know Sean Purvis, a lot of comics in the Tampa area who do the memes. I mean, I don't know. I know that there was kind of a backlash at him for a while, especially comics saying, don't pass out someone else's meme. That's whatever.
I can understand it with, you don't take another comic's jokes if you heard something.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take another comic's joke and replicate that. But my job is to spread the funny. There's a bunch of it out there.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to get memes just from me, you're not going to get what you get here.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'll spit one out, but nothing like this stuff. And it's all about making people laugh. That's the main end to it. Now on stage, I'm not going to take somebody else's material, but online, there's so much good stuff.
Yeah.
And and made by people who want it spread around, who want it shared. Back to the attention hungry kids.
Yeah, that Lee talked about. Yeah, it just but it's just absolutely zillions of them coming on. And but I don't know, is it one particular person doing it, or they're just sharing it? Because there's zillions of like Facebooks and Twitters that you could just go and in fact, some of the Twitters I will probably stop following because the memes just come so much. I just followed them just long enough to speak halfway intelligent about the subject
Yeah.
here tonight. But yeah, they're just coming so fast. And and what was funny, this week may not be funny next week. I mean, especially like if you talk about topical stuff and political stuff. Oh, see, there's another Will Ferrell parody.
Yeah.
So it's not even Will Ferrell. It's just someone.
It's Phil Werrell.
Oh, okay.
Or it'll be at not Will Ferrell.
How many parents does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They would rather bitch about why their kids haven't done it yet.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's more of our tradition. That looked like a Far Side.
It did. It looked like a Far Side with.
Yeah, this is one I'd skip over with him.
Yeah.
Best event. Yeah, that's cool. That one's simple. It's just an observation. So
What is it, like a corn on the cob?
Yeah, I guess it's a corn cob peeler. That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and that's a meme.
As seen on TV. But wait, there's more.
There's more.
We'll send you 17 of them if you call within the next 15 minutes. And the stalk of corn to pick it off of.
Now, I've noticed a lot more of these on Facebook than on Twitter, and I don't know if that's just how Facebook is set up, that it's easier. I mean, Twitter, you actually have to like click something and then to see it.
Yeah, you have to click a link.
Yeah, so it may be that it's a little bit more prevalent to Facebook because just of the general layout and the way it is.
Yeah, it's more prevalent on Facebook, and this site like iFunny is a good site, and I'm sure there's quite a bit more. I was on a create a meme site. I thought I bookmarked it, but I guess I didn't. I made about 8 of them one day.
I went on.
I was having a blast.
And so that's also another thing that I was wanting to talk about. I went on like a website called cheeseburger.com. And so I guess it's very easy. They just like let you download anything, you put it on there, and then you just upload it back to the site.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, now PicMonkey is you can take download a picture on your hard drive and caption it.
Okay, so you can
Loaded.
go.
Yeah, but they don't have the cool meme text. The white one, white letters with the black outline.
Oh,
They don't have that.
so some
Like this
technology.
one.
Okay.
They don't have this lettering. That's the
Oh.
most common. And there's another common Keanu Reeves meme picture.
So some you can actually like download your own pictures and just do what you want with it. But I guess you can only do so much what the technology will allow, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of those memes do those motivational calendars. I mean, they should have known they would have been up for parody. Those, like back in probably the 90s, the early 2000s,
Yeah.
they had the motivational where they just had one word like,
With the big black
yeah,
border around it.
and just one word like strive or achieve or something. And I mean, even as soon as they came out, there was like parodies of them just
Yeah.
like in print.
Come to think of it, those are some of the earliest things I've seen. But I told my son the first meme I ever saw was actually when I was in like 6th grade. And it wasn't in a comic section or anything. It was just a random picture. I can't remember what publication was printed in. Picture of a cat sitting on a toilet. And above it, it said, "Nothing is impossible." I said, wow, I remember that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess it, yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of is. I mean, that's sort of, I guess the precursor to the memes. Yeah, I remember, like my parents used to have like silly cartoons, and they would take a picture of them. Like it would just sort of be like around the office, like, oh, someone gave me this. This is kind of funny. And now technology's to the point where it's all just at your fingertips, like chick, chick, chick.
I know. I remember my friend had a guy named Doug worked in his office. So
Not a
there's
guy named Frank, a guy named
No,
Doug.
a guy named Doug. And there's a Far Side. Instead of beware of dog, it's beware of Doug. And it's got this guy peering out from behind a tree looking all kind of creepy. So he copied that and put it around the office.
But yeah, so I mean, even before we had the technology, I mean,
we were working it.
we were doing it. I mean, that was I can remember like my dad coming home with silly things like that, and they would just be like, "Oh, you got to copy this. This is hilarious."
Wouldn't it be funny if, years from now we find out all those writing in caves, those ancient writings are comic strips?
I never thought about that. Just memes, just clever little things like, look at this crazy ice lady.
Look at his knuckles dragging.
They were just making fun of the dinosaurs. That's the woolly mammoths. That's all they were doing. It was social commentary. That's all it was.
It was prehistoric Far Side.
They were just trying to amuse one another. And yeah, they did that. See, deep thoughts by some guy named Frank.
I would say wading pool thoughts.
Not quite deep.
Not quite deep. Closer to shallow, people. Closer to shallow.
Well, it's not exactly shallow. It's mid. It's mid thoughts.
Yeah, well, it's waist deep thoughts. Let's settle on waist deep. Do we have anybody for chest deep?
Well, we are kind of closing up to the end of the Quirky Bird show.
And it went fast.
It did. Where can you be seen next? Where can we find some guy named Frank and some comedy show by some guy named Frank?
Oh, I'm doing Nolan's competition at Kick and Wing on the 16th.
Oh, I was wanting to plug that. So that's Kick and Wings. For anyone who wants to watch a comedy competition, it's $5. For anyone who wants to participate, it's $3. And that's in Hudson, Florida at Kick and Wings. And I don't have
on
the
Highway
address.
52.
On Highway 52. And I've been there before, and it's a lovely, lovely place. I mean, it's good times. It's a fun crowd. And how many minutes is this competition?
I think 5 or 6, I believe.
Okay.
And on Saturday the 17th, I'll be doing a animal.
Okay.
We just for the bull. You know the bull, Ose.
Oh.
Ossie, Bill Ossie.
Oh yeah, Bull.
OHSE.
I've never heard him called the Bull, but yes, I know Bull.
I guess Bull. Sorry, I'm
Bull.
trashing your name live on the air. Yep, and then I heard him say his last name was like Ossie.
I think at one time he just went by like
Ose.
OC. I thought by like when he first came on to the scene, he was just O period C period.
It's like the dyslexic Star Spangled Banner. OC, can you say? Sorry, it was a simple one. I had to go with it.
No, that was
But
good.
I think it's in the evening, about 5:00. It's Juanita Lolita, who's a quite active local comic babe. You know Juanita,
I
don't you?
do. She was just
She
on
called
the show.
in. That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah, she's good people.
And I'm sure he may round up a few other people. It's a benefit to raise money for animals or something. So there's going to be a younger crowd, youngins, which is cool. I can make their heads explode.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you very much. And let them know where they can find you. Some guy named Frank.
SomeGuyNamedFrank.com. I have a fan page as well. I'm just starting to work the fan page. It's like up to 64 people. I do have an autographed Stephen Wright ticket if anybody wants it. The 5th person who joined my fan page will get this autographed Stephen Wright ticket.
I am going.
Oh, the masses are going nuts.
See, and I just shut down my computer.
Well, wait, because give it a month or two to get the 4. I just haven't worked it yet. My apologies.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Some Guy Named Frank. And next week we will be back on the Quirky Bird Show, and my good friend Karen Fitzgerald will be riding shotgun. So thank you very much, and you can take us on out.